Okay. Next question 11. In the diagram shown, time taken by a pulse to travel on string 1 is t1, while on string 2 is t2 by t1 by t2. Given mu1 is 2 into 10 raised to minus 4 kg per meter and mu2 is equal to 4 into 10 raised to minus 4 kg per meter. Here, pulse is going from this point to this point in time t1 and from this to this point in time t2, and we have to find ratio of time t1 by t2. We know that the velocity in a string is given as under root t by mu. Here, pulse covers distance L in time t1 and here distance L in time t2. So we can write velocity is L by t1 in first case. So this will become t by mu 1. Here we consider t as in same in this whole string because one string one tension. So tension throughout the whole string will be same. As well as we can write L upon t2 is equal to under root t by mu2 for second part of this string. So after taking ratio, we can write t2 by t1 is equal to tt cancel out and mu2 by mu1. So value of mu2 and mu1 are 4 into 10 raised to minus 4 and mu1 is 2 into 10 raised to minus 4. So 2. So under root 2 by 1 is t2 by t1 and we have to find t1 by t2. So t1 by t2 is equal to 1 upon root 2. Okay. So our answer is 1. Light wave described by E is equal to 60 sin 3 into 10 raised to 15t plus sin 12 into 10 raised to 15t in SI. Fall on a metal surface of work function 2.8 electron volt. The maximum kinetic energy Kmax of ejected photon is approximate in electron volt. H is given as this. First of all, write equation in one line. So E is equal to 60 sin 3 into 10 raised to 50 t plus sin 12 into 10 raised to 15 plus 15 into t. So after seeing this, we can say that this is omega 1 and this is omega 2. So we can simplify this in further like sin omega 1t plus sin omega 2. This is t. So here omega 1 is 3 into 10 raised to 15 and omega 2 is 12 into 10 raised to 50. Work function of a metal is 2.8 electron volt. Value of H is given. Maximum kinetic we have to find Kmax of ejected photon. Okay, if light wave described by this equation fall on metal surface of work function this, then what is the maximum kinetic energy of ejected photon? So we have to find Kmax. Equation of Kmax is energy minus work function. Okay, energy of photon minus work function of metal. So first of all, here we have a work function, so we have to find energy of photon first. And in question we have given that we have to find Kmax. So for Kmax we have to consider energy maximum of photon, maximum energy of photon we have to take. So here we are 2 omega. 2 omega means we have a 2 frequency of photon. Let us say omega 1 is equal to 2 pi f1 is 3 into 10 raised to 15. So f1 will become 3 by 2 pi into 10 raised to 15 hertz, as well as omega 2 is equal to 2 pi f2 So from data 1 and data 2, we can say that frequency f2 is maximum. So f2 is maximum frequency, and for this frequency energy of photon will be maximum, and if this energy will be maximum, then the kinetic energy will be maximum if we incident this frequency if we incident f2 frequency on matter, then we will have a maximum kinetic maximum energy of photon, and from that maximum kinetic energy will be achieved. So we will be consider energy of photon as a h into f2, and f2 is this. So mx is equal to E photon is equal to h into f2 minus 5. Again, f2 is maximum frequency, so maximum energy will give maximum kinetic energy. Value of h is 6.6 into 10 raised to minus 34. f2 is 12 by 2 pi into 10 raised to 15 minus work function is in 2.8 electron volt. See that this value is in joule. We have to change this value in electron volt. So we have to divide by 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19. So this whole value will become in electron volt. So further simplifying, let us calculate in mobile. Here 6.6 into 12 divided by 1.6 divided by 2 divided by pi. This is comes to 3788 into 10 raised to minus 14 plus 15. So 15 plus 4 minus 19 minus 90 cancel. So power of 10 will be 0 minus 2.8 in electron volt. So 7.88 minus 2.8. So this will become 5.082 electron volt. From question, here about answer is 5. Round of this in 5.1 electron volt. So maximum kinetic energy is 5.1 electron volt. Okay. This is repeated PYQ from previous year's general question. If you solved PYQ mains of previous years, you will find that this is a repeated question, only data changed. Two equal rods are joined to form a single rod of 120 cm. Find final rod length when temperature is raised from 30 degree to 100 degree Celsius. Here this is T1, this is T2. Alpha of A, alpha of B is given. Initial length of two equal rods is 120. Let us say L1. Okay. So two equal rods, length of all rods are both rods are same. So from diagram we can say that this is two rods with length L and total length is L. This rod is A, this rod is B. Alpha of this rod is alpha A, alpha of this rod is alpha B. This is in temperature T1, 30 degrees Celsius. If we increase temperature from 30 to 100 degrees Celsius, the length of this both rod will be increased. So increased length of this rod will look like this, and of this rod look like this. So we have to find final rod length. The final length of rod. Let us say this is the final length of rod L dash. So L dash will like L1 plus L. Final length of rod L1 plus final length of rod 1 and final length of rod 2. After summation of this both, we will get final length L dash. So L dash will be L1 plus L2. here L1 and L2 are at temperature T2 and T2 temperature is 100 degrees Celsius. So write equation of L1 and L2. L1 we can say that initial length is L into 1 plus alpha of A into delta T plus L2 we can write L2 as L 1 plus alpha of B into delta T. So L plus L common 1 plus alpha A is 1.2 into 10 raised to minus 5 into delta T. Delta T is 100 minus 30, so 70 degrees Celsius. So 70 plus A as it is 1 plus alpha B is 24 into 10 raised to minus 6 into delta T is 70. So further calculate L into 1 plus 70 into 1.2 70 into 1.2 divided by 10 raised to 5 plus 1. So this will become 1.00084 plus L into 70 into 24 divided by 10 raised to 6 plus 1 is 1.00168. Common L summation of this will be 1.00084, so 2.00252. Here L is the length of one rod. Total length L1 is 120. Then L will be 60 cm, and this L also will be 60 cm. So put the value of L 60 into 2.00252. After calculation, this will become 120.15 cm. So here you can say see that after decimal point there are 4 digits and final answer will be 120.15. So 120.15. So here we saw that some calculations are also there are in scheduling. So we have to practice calculation too in speed, so we can save time at that time. Next question, a graph of potential energy as a position is given below. Given the order of magnitude of force, okay, we have to find order of magnitude of force in this region, like A to B, B to C, C to D, D to E, and all in the form of what? We know that potential versus x graph. Slope of potential versus x is given as f is equal to minus du by dx. We know that du by minus of du by dx is given as force. Okay. So first of all, we have to find force in region AB. So we have to calculate slope in region AB. So minus sign as it is. This is theta, so this length is 1 by 1. So we can say that slope is 1 by 1. So FAB is equal to minus 1 Newton, and we have considered only mode. So VAB is equal to 1 Newton. Okay. For second region B to C, force B to C minus of d by dx. For this we have to consider this theta. So length of this opposite is 5 minus 1 is equal to 4 divided by length of adjacent. Adjacent length is 2 minus 1 is equal to 1. So FBC's mode will be 4 meter. Let us say value 2, as well as FCD. In region of FCD, in region of CD, there is a slope, but slope is 0. So minus d by dx will become 0. So FCD is equal to 0. Let us say value 3. Now final value force in region D2E. The force in region D2E is given as minus d by dx minus du by dx. So let us say that this is theta dash. So this is opposite and this is adjacent. So opposite value is 5 minus 3 is equal to 2. And value of adjacent is 7 minus 5 is equal to 2. So value of FDE mod is 1 Newton. Let us say value. Now compare for all value. Here we can say that this is 1 Newton, this is 1 Newton. So FAB is equal to FD. FCD is 0 and FBC is 4 Newton. So maximum value of force is FBC. So in this force BC have largest magnitude. These two are same and FCD is 0. So we can say that FCD. So here's the option FCD, AB, D and BC. Our answer is 1. Another question from rotation. A rod of mass small m and length L is attached to two ideal strings. Find tension in left string just after right of string is cut. Okay. This is a rod of mass m and length L is initially suspended from two strings. Let us say this is tension T naught and this is tension T naught. Mg will acting in downside. After this condition, we just cut this string, and after cutting this string, just after the cutting the string, we have to calculate the new tension in this rod. In this string. So after cutting the string, we will get a diagram like this. Length of rod is L and mass is M. Okay, center of mass of this rod will be this. So Mg will F downside. Now initially tension was T naught, but now tension will be changed and it will become T, and we have to find T just after cutting this string. After cutting this string, tension in this string will become 0. So now say that Mg is acting downward, tension is upward, but acceleration of this rod is like this. This is alpha. So this is rotated. This will rotate with angular acceleration alpha, and tangential acceleration of this rod is in this direction L. So from this we can write equation that Mg is acting downward, tension is upward. So Mg minus T is equal to mass into S/n. This equation is in for linear forces. Mg downward, tension upward. Because of this F10, Ma/c1 we can write as well as, let us say, equation 1. Now assume that if we balance torque at this point, reference to this point, the tension torque of this tension will become 0. So there will be only Mg acting downward, and this Mg will rotate this rod. So distance from this point to Mg is L by 2 because full length is L. So torque of Mg is equal to I, where I is is moment of inertia of this rod above this point, because this rod is rotated from this point. So I is the moment of inertia. Torque mg is, we can say that force is mg and distance between these 2 points is L by 2. Okay, we have to write I with respect to this point, with respect to this axis. So I of this rod from this axis is ml square by 3. If it is it will rotate with this point, then moment of inertia will become ml square by 12. But it is rotated from this end, so moment of inertia will become ml square by 3 into ACOL. So simplify further, ml cut, LL cut, so 3G by 2 into L is equal to ACOL. Okay. And now we have to find tension. So put the value of ACOL in this equation. So mg minus T is equal to m. ACOL is equal to 3G by 2L. So rearrange these terms, mg minus 3 mg by 2L is equal to T. I think we made some mistake. Sorry, here we have to write alpha in the form of ACOM, and alpha is ACOM by R, and R is the distance between these two particles, so these 2 points, and these 2 points is L by 2. So ACOM by L by 2. So this will become 2 by L into ACOM. So LL will be cut. Okay, little mistake we have made. Okay. See that 3G by 2L is equal to 2 by L into ACOM. Because I write alpha as ACOM, but we have to write alpha in the form of ACOM by R. We can say that alpha is equal to 80 by R, and that tangential acceleration is in the form of ACOM. So LL cut, so ACOM will become 3G by 4. Okay, this is data 2. Now put the value of ACOM in this equation 1 and solve for T. So mg minus T is equal to m into ACOM is equal to 3G by 4. So mg minus 3 mg by 4 is equal to T. So simplify, 4 minus 3 is equal to mg by 4 is equal to tension. So this is our new tension, mg by 4. Answer number 2. Okay. So alpha is equal to ACOM by R. This is a single mistake. We have to not make these types of mistake in exam. Okay. Other question: a capacitor of capacitance C is given. Find the capacitance after dielectric is inserted as shown. First of all, there are A between these 2 plates, and capacitance of this capacitor is C. So let us say that these plates are at a distance d apart, and area. Just say that area is A. When there are A between 2 plates, the capacitance is C, and C we can write as epsilon A by D. Let us say epsilon. Now we put the dielectric constant as length with dielectric constant K, and the length of or thickness of this slab is d by 3, and area is same as plate. Then we can write this diagram as like this. This is two plates. Now d by 3 distance and this is 2d by 3 distance. We put the dielectric of a dielectric constant. Okay, so we can say that this is capacitance C1 and this is capacitance C2. C1 capacitance has a thickness d by 3, area A same as both, and has a dielectric constant as a medium K. And another capacitor which are made of A, distance between these two is 2d by 3 and area is Sm. So first write C1 and C2 separately. So C1 will become K times of epsilon A and thickness is d by 3. Value of K is given as 3. So 3 epsilon naught A upon d by 3. 3 into 3 9 epsilon A by d. So we can write C1 is equal to 9 into C, because we consider C as epsilon A by d. Okay. For second capacitor C2, C2 will become epsilon naught A upon distance between these two is 2d by 3. So 3 by 2 epsilon A by d. Again, epsilon A upon d is considered as C. So C2 will become 3 by 2C. Let us say equation or value 3. Now, from the diagram, C1 and C2 is connected in series. So we have a formula of series combination as C equivalent is equal to 1 upon C1 plus 1 upon C2. So 1 upon C equivalent is equal to C1 is 9C and C2 is equal to 3C by 2. 2 will become going to numerator. So 2 by 3C. Let us take LCM for 9C. So this will be 1 and this will be 3 into 3. So 2 into 3. So 6. So 7 by 9C. So C equivalent will become 9C by 7. So equivalent capacitance will be 9 by 7C. A magnet is dropped inside a coil as shown in figure. Its acceleration as it falls from the coil is A. Choose the correct option. Okay. Here are the questions from chapter number 6, electromagnetic induction. Here, ball magnet is free falling, and after a solenoid, when ball magnet is entering in this solenoid, magnetic field lines passing through this solenoid will be increased. So in the result of this coil will be oppose the change of magnetic flux. So this solenoid will act upward force on this ball magnet. We studied it, Lenz law and Faraday's law. So this coil will be exert a force on ball magnet for opposing the motion. So opposing means this coil want to decrease the change of flux. So for that, this solenoid will acting upward force. So net acceleration or net speed of this free falling ball magnet will be decreased. So acceleration of this ball magnet will less than g. Okay, so acceleration will be less than g. Two rods are joined together as shown. If the moment of inertia about a hinge is x by 12 ml square, find x. Both rods have mass m and length l. Okay, very good. This is rod of length l. This is rod of also length l. Mass of this rod is m and mass of this also m. Here are the hinge point, and we have to find the moment of inertia of these two rod system about this point. So consider that this is rod 1 and this is rod 2. So we have to find moment of inertia from this point. Let us say I length. So we can say that I net is equal to I1 plus I2. Here I1 and I2 are the moment of inertia of rod 1 and moment of inertia of rod 2 respectively, but with this axis, with respect to this axis. So we have to write first of all moment of inertia of this rod about this point and moment of inertia of this rod about this point. So first of all, let us find I1 first. For I1, consider that this is center of mass of this rod and we displace this axis from this to this. For that, D1 will become N. So we will use a parallel axis theorem. So D1 will become L. So we can say that ICOM plus MD 1 square, where ICOM is the moment of inertia of this rod about its center of mass and distance D1 is equal to L. So ICOM will become moment of inertia of rod about this point is ml square by 12 plus m d1 is l square. So simplify 12 plus 1 13 by 12 ml square. Okay, this is the moment of inertia of 1. Same to same, we have to find moment of inertia of this rod about this point, but if this rod will rotate from this axis, the moment of inertia will be I square, but the axis is displaced by distance d2 is equal to L by 2. Okay. So we have to write I2. So I2 will become ICOM plus MD2 square. ICOM is moment of inertia of rod about its center of mass. It will become ml square by 12. M d2 is L by 2, so L by 2 is whole square. So ml square by 12 plus ml square by 4. Take LCM of 12, ml square plus 4 into 3, so 3 plus 1. 4 into 3 will become 12. So 3 ml square plus ml square. So 4 ml square by 12. So I2 is equal to 4 by 4 into 3. So ml square by 3. This is value 2. Now summation of both I1 and I2 will get I net is equal to 13 by 12 ml square plus ml square by 3. Take LCM of 12. This is 13 ml square. 3 into 4, so 1 into 4, so 4 ml square. So this will become 13 plus 4, 17 ml square by 12. This is I net. And we have asked in question that x upon ml square, x into ml square by 12. So ml square 12. So value of x is equal to 17. Okay, so this is a quite easier question. In previous year NEET, the same question will be asked, but same question about the moment of inertia. We have to find moment of inertia in that NEET 2025. But that question was very calculative and very lengthy. There are sphere given, here rod, and in case of rod, the moment of inertia is easier to find respect to sphere. Next question, find energy required per satellite to go from R is equal to 1.5 RE to R is equal to 3 RE. Given mass of satellite is 100 kg, let us say small m, and RE is equal to 6 into 10 raised to 6 meter. Acceleration due to gravity is 10 meter per second square. Okay. Let us say this R1 and this is R2. So energy required for satellite to go from R1 to R2. Just say that this is our Mother Earth and radius of Earth is RE. Now, one satellite is revolving around this Earth at a distance of 1.5 RE. So, we can okay. Let us say this is radius R1 and R1 is equal to 1.5 RE is equal to 3 by 2 RE. And another radius. So, if there are satellites revolving around Earth at this distance, and if we want to displace the satellite in the radius of let us say that radius this is R2 and value of R2 is 3RE. This is equation 2. So we have to displace this satellite from this orbit to this orbit. For that we have to work. We have to done work. So work done for remove this satellite from this orbit to this orbit is considered as W is equal to final total energy minus initial total energy. Change in energy of satellite and the same magnitude of work we have to done. So E final and E initial here E final and E initial are total energy of satellite. So total energy are considered as G upon R upon 2R. Sorry. So from this formula we have to write E final and E initial. So first of all find E final. E final is equal to minus G by R2 and value of R2 is 3R. Okay. Sorry, into 2. So E final will become minus G upon 6RE. Let us see equation 3. As well as F E initial is equal to minus G upon 2 into R1, where R1 is equal to 3 by 2 RE. So write G upon 2 into 3 by 2 RE. So 2 will be cancelled out. So E initial will become minus G upon 3RE. Let us see equation 4. So now put the value of equation 3 and equation 4 in equation this okay. In equation this so E final is minus G upon 6RE minus of minus E initial is equal to G upon 3RE. Okay, further simplify. Minus minus plus. There will be GMEM by 3RE will be common. So GMEM upon 3RE minus 1 by 2 and plus 1. This is what done. So we have to insert a slide and change the background. Background is white. Okay. So work done is equal to GMEM upon 3RE. GMEM upon 3RE into minus 1 by 2 plus 1. So it will become 1 by 2. So GMEM upon 6RE. This is what done. We have a mass of M, radius, value of G, but not of mass M. So we have to eliminate mass m in other term, here we have a value of g. So we can write this r into r. Then we can multiply and divide by r. So this will become g m upon 6 r square into r. So look that g upon g m upon r square we can write is as a g m upon 6 into r. G is equal to gravitational acceleration. We can write gravitational acceleration g is equal to g m upon r square. Okay. Now put the value. G is equal to 10. Mass is 100. Radius of Earth is 6 into 10 raised to 6 meter. 6 into 10 raised to 6 meter upon 6. 6 cut 10 raised to 3, 10 raised to 6. So this will become 10 raised to 9 joule. So we have to do this amount of work for transferring this satellite from R1 to Earth. Okay, and answer is A. Next question. A collimated beam of light of diameter 2 mm is propagating along x-axis. The beam is required to be expanded in a collimated beam of diameter 4 mm using a system of two convex lenses. Okay. If first lens has focal length 40 mm, then focal length of second lens is okay. Here word called collimated beam of light. I think this word is new for most of all students. There is no mention of this word in NCERT, but we can simplify this question as let us say that initial diameter, let us say d1 is equal to 2m. Beam is equal to be expanded in collimated beam to of a diameter 14 mm. So this is the diameter 2. If first lens is focal length of 40 mm, then focal length of second lens f2 will be. First of all, let us write in case 1, case 2. Case 1 diameter is 2 mm, in diameter 2 14 mm. Focal length in the first case is 40 mm and focal length in case of 2 we have to make. Okay. So first of all, configuration of this is like this. Initially, light is coming like this, and diameter of this light is d1. After reflecting from this lens, this will become wider like this, and this will become wider like this. And now this light will become parallel and this will go like this. So now the diameter of this beam will increase and this is called d2. From the physical configuration we can say that this is theta and this is also theta. Now this is the common point, but distance of this point from this lens is called f1 and distance of this point from this lens is f2, because parallel lights are converged at the focus point of this lens, and if any light incident on lens from its focal length, then light will become parallel to its axis. So from this diagram, so you can say that theta is same. So we have a formula that theta is equal to r by radius. In case 1 and case 2, case 1 theta is theta, but arc is, we can consider d1 and radius is as a focal length f. Okay, same to same from this configuration, theta is same, arc for this second case is d2 and focal length or radius is equal to f2. So see that equation 1 and equation 2 as theta and value of theta is same because there are similar triangles. So equate equation 1 and 2, we will get d1 by f1 is equal to d2 by f2. Now find f2. F2 is equal to d2 f1 by d1. D2 is 40 mm. F1 is equal to 40 mm and D1 is equal to 2 mm. All data are in mm, so value of F2 will be also in mm. So 2 into 7, 7 into 4, 280. So F2 will be 280 mm. This is our answer, 280 mm. So, if we had a diagram in question is given, then question will be more easier. But here are the word use collimated beam. So many students can be confused from this word, and I think that if this diagram will be was not given in the exam, then many of students should be would be skip this question because of not understanding of this word collimated. Okay. Next question. In YDAC arrangement, d is equal to 0.1 cm. Let us say 0.1 into 10 to minus 2 meter. D is equal to 50 cm. Let us say 0.5 meter. If a thin film placed as in the figure in front of S1, central maxima forms 0.2 cm above the center. The thickness of film should be in micrometer. Okay, this is the question from interference, but slightly change, modify, you can say. Here is slit S1, S2. If this slab is not good, then central maxima will form at this point. But after putting this slab in front of slit 1, the central maxima is displaced this distance as a 0.2 cm. Because of this slab created part difference, value of mu for this block is 1.5. So we have derived this equation. Then we can say that T mu minus 1 is equal to delta x. This is the extra path difference created by the slab of refractive index mu and thickness T. Let us say that the thickness of this slab is T. So after putting the slab of refractive index mu and thickness T, the extra path difference delta x will be created due to this. And we have a formula that y is equal to delta x d by d. So put the value of delta x in this equation. So we will have y as t into mu minus 1 into d by d. We have all data d capital D, mu and y. So we have to only calculate for t, where t is the thickness. So t is equal to y small d upon mu minus 1 into capital D. Y is equal to 0.2 cm. So 0.2 into 10 to minus 2. Small d is 0.1 into 10 to minus 2 upon mu is equal to 1.5 minus 1 into capital D is equal to 0. Okay, simplify this. 0.2 into 0.1 is 0.02 into 10 to minus 4 upon 1.5 minus 1 is equal to 1 by 2 into 0.5. So calculating this, this will become 2 into 10 to 2 divided by 0.5 can be written as 1 by 2. 1 by 2 will be go in numerator. So 2 into 2 into 2. So this will become 2 into 2 4, 4 into 2 8. 8 into 10 to minus 6 meter. But here we have asked in question that we have to write T in the micrometer. So T is equal to 8 micrometer. So our answer is 8. Okay. So thickness of this slab will be 8 micrometer and answer is only 8. The next question. Initial temperature of 10 moles of O2 is 30 degrees Celsius. Find change in internal energy in calories if final temperature becomes 40 degrees Celsius given Cp is equal to 7 calorie per mole per degree Celsius and R is equal to 2 calorie per mole per degree Celsius. Okay. Initial temperature is 30 and final temperature is 40 degrees Celsius and mole of O2 is 10 and we have to find change in internal energy. Okay, we have a formula of change in internal energy as E internal is equal to we have data first of all right data Cp is equal to 7 calorie per mole per degree Celsius. R is equal to 2. Number of moles or mu is equal to 10. T1 is equal to 30 degrees Celsius. T2 is equal to 40 degrees Celsius. So delta T is equal to T2 minus T1 is equal to 10 degrees Celsius. Okay. Internal energy, formula of internal energy is equal to NCV delta T, where N is equal to number of moles and here we have no data of Cv, but data of Cv. But we have a relation that Cp minus Cv is equal to R. So we can write Cv is equal to Cp minus R. So put this data in this equation, we will find the internal is equal to N is equal to 10. First of all, write as it is N. Cv is equal to Cp minus R into delta T. Now put all the values from given data. Number of moles is 10. Cp is equal to 7. R is equal to 2. Delta T is equal to 10. So 10 into 5 into 10. So this will become 500 calorie. Because we put all data in calorie. Okay. So answer will be 500 calorie. Next question. Compound microscope has focal length of objective 2 cm, focal length of height 4 cm. Tube length is 32 cm. For normal adjustment, find magnification. Okay, for normal adjustment, if there are nothing given, then normal adjustment means we focus on an image at an infinite distance. So, for compound microscope, for magnification adjusted at infinite, like final image is found at infinite, then we can write equation is equal to F upon F naught d by dt. This is for if final image is at infinite. Okay, so put all the data. L is equal to 32, FO is 2, D is equal to 25 because D value of D is 25. It is called near point. And Fe is equal to 4 cm. So 2 into 16, 4 into 4. So 4 into 25 will become 100. So magnification of this microscope will be 100. Next question. find heat in joule dissipated in 1 minute in thermal circuit. Okay. Let us say this is 1 ohm, this is 2, this is 2, this is 4. When we have a diagram in that 5 resistors are given, so we have to firstly find if there are disturbance or not. So check that 1 by 2 and this right side is equal to 2 by 4. This is ratio 1 by 2. So left side and right side ratio are same. So this is the balanced piston piece. In the case of balanced piston piece, there are no current passing through middle resistance. So this resistance circuit can be drawn as like this: 1 ohm and 2 ohm are in series. Here 2 ohm and 4 ohm are also in series. And now this is battery with 9 volt and this is a battery with internal resistance 1 ohm. So we can write it is like this. Okay. So if we have to find the heat dissipated in 1 minute in this circuit, we have to find equivalent resistance of the circuit. Okay. The 4 equivalent resistors, let us say equivalent resistance of this will become 3 ohm, 4 plus 2 will become 6 ohm, and now write this circuit as 3 ohm, 6 ohm, 1 ohm and battery of 9 volt. So now 3 and 6 are in parallel. So equivalent of this will be 3 into 6. 3 into 6 upon 3 plus 6. So 18 upon 9. So 2 ohm. So equivalent resistors of this circuit means these both resistors are 2 ohm. Now 2 ohm resistors and 1 ohm resistors are connected with battery of 9 volt. So now R equivalent will become 2 plus 1, 3 ohm, and voltage is 9 volt. So now find current. So or we can write H is equal to I square RT, or I we can write E by R equivalent into R equivalent into D. So E square by R equivalent square into R equivalent into D. 1 R equivalent cut. Then it will become E square by R equivalent into D. So put all the data and solve for H. Value of EMF is equal to 9. R equivalent we find that 3. And time is 1 minute. So 1 minute we can say that it is 60 seconds. So 3 into 20. So H is equal to 9 square of 9. 81 into 20. So 0. 2 into 1. 2. 8 into 2. 60. So this will become 1620 joule. So answer of this will 1620 joule. Okay. Okay. So last question. There are two springs of spring constant K1 and K2. If they are connected in parallel, then percentage error in equivalent spring constant of combination. We have to find equivalent spring combination, error in equivalent spring combination in parallel combination. So first of all, if we draw the diagram of this configuration, it will look like this. Spring constant of K1 and spring constant of K2. K1 is given as 20 plus or minus 0.3 in Newton per meter, and K2 is given as 30 plus or minus 0.2 Newton per meter. Okay, so this is the question from error. We know that the equivalent string constant for a parallel combination is, what is the value or what is the equation of a parallel combination? So K equivalent will become K1 plus K2. So K equivalent will become K1 is 20 plus K2 is equal to 30. So this will become 50 Newton per meter. Now, if we have a data of delta K, then we can measure percentage error in K equivalent by delta K equivalent upon K equivalent into 100. So now we have to find K equivalent, delta K equivalent. So delta K equivalent in addition or subtraction rule, the error in the both reading are summation of a final error. So delta K equivalent is equal to delta K1 plus delta K. So delta K1 is 0.3 and delta K2 is equal to 0.2. So this will become 0.5 Newton upon meter, delta K equivalent. And now we have to find delta K equivalent by K equivalent to 100%. So delta K equivalent upon K equivalent into 100%. We have to find. So it will become delta K equivalent is equal to 0.5. K equivalent is equal to 50 into 100. So 50 into 2 into 0.5. So 1%. So error in equivalent of a string constant is 1%. So answer of this question is 1%. Okay. So now you see that many questions are based on directly formula. Some question 2 or 3 some are little lengthy and we have to think in deep about some question. But session 1 first 21 January shift 1 paper is we can say that easier than previous years JWPYU like 2025. We will see after session 2 shift 2 or 20 seconds shift 1 and shift 2 that how much lengthy paper or hard paper will be in further shifts. But if we only say about this, then this is a little easier paper than earlier shift. Okay, so you student have not to silly mistake, have to remember all the formulas. Okay, so thank you for this watching solution.